Okay, I'm going to read this next chapter too. It's really nice out here, but I'm wondering if my neighbors can hear me reading this book out loud to nobody except to you. So this next chapter is called How to Speak. Penny doesn't speak the whole drive home. There are 2 messages on the answering machine from Sarah asking Penny to please call her as soon as possible. I'm scared that this means something has happened to Gus, that maybe he's back in the hospital already. I don't know what Penny's thinking. She storms around the kitchen looking for something. When she knocks over the cardboard tower, she kicks it across the room like she doesn't care anymore about all the time she's been making it. I don't know if this will help, but I go to the pile of new flashcards we've been working on. I can't read any of them, but I remember one of the new ones because it has a picture on it, a mouth with lips. I pick it up and carry it over to her. She stops being angry for a second and takes it out of my mouth. "Speak," she says. She starts to really cry. Not the little tears she cried in the car. These are big sobs. I'm scared she might choke or stop breathing. It looks like maybe she's having a broken heart attack. I don't want Penny to have a broken heart and die. I just want to go back to my family and do my job with Gus. I move a little closer. She's crumpled up the flashcard, so now neither one of us can read it. It'll be okay, I tell her. Take deep breaths. I'm surprised. She takes a deep breath. That's good, I say. And she takes another. It's almost like she can hear me somewhere in the back of her mind, or maybe in her heart she can hear me. She just doesn't listen most of the time because she doesn't like what I have to say. It will all be okay if you take me back to Gus. I will work hard for him and be the best service dog you ever trained. You'll be proud of me. You'll see. She can hear some of this, I'm almost sure, or at least she can feel it. That's better than being famous. She takes another deep breath. I've got to keep going. I can't stop now. I don't want to be famous like the dog in the video who never gets to eat his bacon. I can't believe it. She stopped crying for long enough to smile for a second. We've watched that video a lot. I've never laughed at it the way Penny does. I always wonder if that poor dog is embarrassed now. How could he not be famous for wanting bacon so much that he gets a little whiny? It could happen to any of us, and it's funny to some people. Penny stops smiling. She holds out her hands for me to come over and put my head in her lap. I'm just going to miss you so much, she says. She's crying again, a little. I feel like I need you too, but maybe he needs you more. I lick her face, which always makes her laugh. I don't know if she's heard me or not. All I know is that she's understood enough to know what she needs to do. That was a short chapter. This next one is called How to Go Home. That afternoon, Penny starts teaching me seizure response protocols. I'm so eager to learn that it doesn't take long. Watching videos helps, except they're all golden retrievers, which scares me a little. The only golden retriever I've met have always seemed so sure of themselves. Once I saw a golden urinate on another dog's foot, and that isn't a sight any dog can easily forget. After Penny breaks down the tasks I'll need to do when Gus has another seizure, it's not hard to imagine doing this job. When I smell a seizure coming, I need to get him away from staircase and windows. I should have him lie down on the floor so he's less likely to hurt himself falling. After a seizure, I need to press a button that he'll wear around his neck to call for help. If he's not wearing the button or I can't get to it, I need to make sure he's safe and go for help myself. I haven't done the button part, but I've done all the other things. It surprises me realizing this because so far Gus's seizures have always happened when something else stressful is going on. First the fire alarm and then the fight with Eleanor. Maybe if I remember these times when my instincts were good, I can build up my confidence. Penny talks a lot about having confidence. It means believing you can do something even if you haven't done it before and you aren't sure. Penny says her problem for most of her life has been not having enough confidence in herself. I don't want you to have that same problem too, Chester. Maybe that's why I've worked so hard to show you how smart you are. I want you to believe in yourself the way I do. Now that we're finally doing the work that will get me back home to Gus, it's easier for me to like Penny again. You should have confidence too, I tell her. Look at the great job you've done with all your dogs. Look at the great job you did with me. I don't know if she can hear me the way Gus can and her mother could, but I think my voice sounds like her own thoughts in her head. Sometimes I look at the wonderful dogs I've trained. I look at you, Chester, and I think I should have more confidence. It teaches me something. Gus is my person because he can hear me, but I can still help other people I love by sitting near them and thinking positive thoughts. That will never be my main job, but it can be my side job. I think a lot of dogs do this as a side dog. It's an important, as a side job, it's an important one too. Penny is very quiet before she takes me back to Gus. I'm scared that she'll cry, so I don't say anything. I sit as still as possible and try not to think about anything either. I watch Penny take slow trips out to the car with all my things. My bed, my bowls, my sack of food. It's sad, but watching her empty her house of dog things, I get an idea. She should get her own dog. She shouldn't let Wendy or anyone else decide whether she's good enough to have a dog. She should go to one of the places we always see advertised on TV, where thin dogs look out from behind the cages with eyes that say, "Will you please bring me home?" Whenever we see one of those commercials, Penny always says, "I can't stand these ads. I can't stand looking at those sweet, sad faces on TV." Once she said she couldn't adopt one of them because too many sad things had already happened to them. Now, when she walks back into the house after her last trip, I'm sitting by the door waiting for her. "You should adopt your own dog from a shelter," I say, looking into her eyes. "A lot of sad things have happened to me, but you still love me. You should find another dog to keep. You love dogs, and you shouldn't have to always give away the things you love." I don't know if she hears me. If she hears, I don't know if she'll follow my suggestion. I think about all the months we lived together. She has a lot of reasons to say no. It wouldn't be a good idea. She used to talk a lot about neighborhood dogs she didn't like. Poodles are too high-strung, she'd say. Border collies are too hyper, herding anything that moves. Goldens think they're better than everyone else. Penny has many low opinions of other dogs, but the lowest of all is for mutts. "You have to watch out for them," she once told me. "You never know what you're getting." I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of really great mutts. Some of the best dogs I've ever met have been mutts or mixed breeds. I think Penny is just a little bit, she's a puppy professional, maybe a little bit of a puppy snob. In the car driving to Gus's house, she's very quiet. I take a risk and say, "You might be wrong about the mutts on TV. Yes, you don't know what you're getting, but that's the exciting part. I didn't know what I was getting when I first met Gus. He was scared of me, and I was scared of him too. Love is when you get to know each other well enough to not be scared anymore." I don't know if Penny can hear me. Her eyes are on the road, and she's driving slowly because she doesn't want to get to where we are going. Eventually we do, and Sarah opens the door the minute Penny's car pulls into the driveway. "We're so happy to see you again," she says to me, not Penny. She comes over to my door and opens it because she can't wait anymore. And I bounce around and around like a puppy, so she knows that I'm happy too. It's wonderful to be home. That night in Gus's room, after Sarah turns out the light and leaves us alone, Gus talks to me for the first time since I've been back. "Did you go somewhere? It seems like I haven't seen you for a while." I think about how frantic I felt and how much I missed him. I wonder if I should be hurt that he hardly noticed I was gone. No, I think. This is my job. He's learning how to notice people and animals enough to miss them. I'm teaching him that. I tell him, "I wasn't far away, and now I'm back. I won't do that again, I promise. I didn't like being away. I missed you." I wait for him to say the same thing to me, but he doesn't. For a long time, he doesn't say anything at all. And then, just as I'm drifting off, he surprises me. "You missed something." "Oh? What?" "One bird flew away. There used to be 4, and now there's 3. I sit up a little. I thought he'd forgotten about the bird nest that we shared before we started watching TV. When you spend your day looking out the window, the stories are a little slower and less exciting, but they're there. If you look long enough, they're there. Gus taught me that. "Did it die?" he asks me now. Probably, I think to myself. I remember that there was a little one who didn't look very strong. No, I say. I think it went back to school to see all its friends. And Gus sits up in bed, confused. That was a little joke. Birds don't go to school. He lies back down. I don't want to go to school either. Think about the parts you liked, like Mama and her dishwasher and Amelia. Who? Amelia, the girl who comes to sit with us. She needs a friend, I think. She gets sad and frustrated sometimes, like you, a little bit. I do? Yes, sometimes. Okay, I guess I do. And that's the end of that chapter. Next one is called A Real Surprise.